What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the network. Today, we are diving into the absolute chaos happening in DC and the culture. We've got Charles and Farron breaking down some heavy hitters, from Nicki Minaj to a full-blown Republican exodus. Let's get to it. First up, Charles from Here's What I Think is looking at the beef you didn't see coming. Representative Jasmine Crockett is officially over it. She's calling out Nicki Minaj for selling out to the Trump administration. Crockett says she can't divorce the art from the artist anymore. If you're back in the current administration, Crockett is hitting the delete button on your discography. This is the culture clash of 2026, and Charles is right in the middle of it. Check his full breakdown in the link below.
So what we want to do is we want to play what Jasmine Crockett had to say in terms of Nicki Minaj, and she didn't hold back. She absolutely annihilated her, and I'm like, yeah. This kind of energy sounds about right. Take a listen to Jasmine Crockett here.
I wanted to ask about Nicki Minaj, because she's like, very in the news these days. Has like, you're doing a face right now.
We don't mess with Nicki.
You don't mess with Nicki?
No, we don't mess with Nicki.
Did you used to mess with her?
Oh, of course. I mean, you had to, but I will be clear, I have always loved Cardi more.
Okay.
And clearly my instincts were right to love on Cardi more than Nicki.
Totally. So you kind of flipped on her. What was the moment you decided that I just can't anymore?
I just don't do sellouts, especially in this moment, right? Like, things are too serious. There are too many people that are being harmed. And especially with her being an immigrant, then deciding to go and cozy up to this administration that is specifically putting targets on the backs of immigrants and anyone who stands with them. Even if they're U.S. citizens, they can catch a bullet. That is wrong. And I don't even understand how you can play with it and pretend like it's anything but wrong.
Why do you think she's doing it then?
Listen, I don't know if it's because she looking for some papers for some people, or if she's looking for them other papers, because I hear that she got family members that's got a little, a few little issues, right? And so maybe she needs them other papers, because he love to hand those out, usually at a cost, right? But going after people like Don Lemon, who I love dearly, just wrong. Like, she's just on the wrong side of history. So I hope that people remember all of this when she comes back and she's broke and she's begging for money and support, because something tells me MAGA ain't gonna do it for her.
Like, if Nicki came out with a summer jam and you couldn't not bop your head to it, do you think you'd still have to turn it off when you're in the car to come on the radio, or can you divorce those two things?
I think that there are plenty of people. I'll give you an example. R. Kelly, right? A lot of people took issue with R. Kelly. R. Kelly obviously is serving and doing his time right now. But something tells me that people are still bumping R. Kelly somewhere, somehow, right? I think that there are people that can divorce the art. For me, it is more so about, your dollars. Are you going to support with your dollars certain things? Because it's the dollars that have given her a platform in the first place. Otherwise, Donald Trump wouldn't even know who she was. No one would know who she was, but for the dollars that were used to support her that allowed her to have the platform that she has. Do you want to continue to support or elevate a person's platform who's then going to turn around and do things that are demeaning to us as a society?
It's interesting to me that she's the MAGA hero right now, but she's not included in their halftime Super Bowl show. You know how they're doing a Turning Points halftime show? Kid Rock is headlining. I assumed that Nicki was going to headline, but she's not even on the bill. It's a pride. Why do you think Nicki's not on there?
She may now understand her place as it relates to MAGA, but maybe she won't. Who knows?
Excellent. So you heard what she had to say. What are my thoughts about this? It's beautifully said. You don't need to be cordial with people like this. Nicki Minaj, when she decided to make her pivot, she pivoted all the way, to the point where she alienated so many of her fans, to the point where they tried to sign a petition that I believe had 100,000 signatures to get her deported. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You're talking about the most bigoted administration that I've seen in my lifetime, being spearheaded in terms of their foreign policy when it comes to immigration and all of that by Stephen Miller. You want to talk about a bigot? Go look him up. Look at the kind of things that he was saying during his collegiate days. Stephen Miller. These are the people that she decided to cozy herself up to, because somehow she believes that out of all of the black people and all of the immigrants that they want to deport, they love her. She decided that she wanted to be a part of this movement. You can't even make it up. And when I found out, because when I initially started reading upon this story, when I found out that Nicki Minaj came into the United States undocumented, I'm like, wait a minute, Nicki, hold up. Do you know that if you were up against this administration, they could get you deported? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that they would deport you had you not been on the side of their movement or whatever it is? Don't you know that? Don't you know that? So let me just kind of bring this back into me, because various people have messaged me, hey, man, why don't you support MAGA? Well, I don't get it, man. Why don't you support MAGA? Look, there are a bunch of reasons, but one of the reasons I don't support this movement is simply this. They don't like people like me.
Now, let's talk about the Hill. Farron from Farron Balanced was tracking a major panic, and he's spot on. The exit doors in D.C. are swinging fast. Just a few days ago, on February 4th, we saw Representative Barry Loudermilk from Georgia call it a career after a decade in the House. He's one of the heavy hitters leaving a safe Republican seat behind. But wait, it gets deeper. As of yesterday, February 6, 2026, the number officially hit 30. Nevada's own Representative Mark Amodei just announced he's passing the torch after 15 years. Think about that. 30 House Republicans are now officially out. We're talking about veterans and subcommittee chairs running for the exits because they're tired of the gridlock and the noxious atmosphere on the Hill. This isn't just a ripple, it's a wave. Farron is breaking down exactly how this reshapes the game for the 2026 midterms. If you want to know why the old guard is folding their cards, you need to see his full breakdown in the links below.
This week, Republican Representative Barry Loudermilk of Georgia became the 29th Republican to announce, you know what? I'm done. I am not going to stay here. I am not going to seek re-election. I am effectively going to retire, said Republican Representative Barry Loudermilk of Georgia, because, in his own words, he wants to spend more time doing stuff for the community. Which I would actually think, as a representative of that community in Washington, D.C., you're in a position to do more for the community than if you're just walking around and doing stuff. But sure, whatever. Whatever excuse you want to give us as to why you're bailing the sinking ship. So, with Loudermilk, 29 Republican members of the House of Representatives in the past year announcing retirements or resignations. Now, Loudermilk is going to serve the rest of his term. He's not going anywhere just yet, just kind of like Vern Buchanan from Florida announced, I'm retiring, but I'm going to serve it out. But as we have seen in the past, it doesn't always play out that way. Because once these folks announce their retirement, they got nothing left to lose, right? The race begins for somebody to replace them in this year's midterms. So some of them will get to the point, maybe in the summertime, and be like, you know what? I'm enjoying this giant break I'm getting from work. I only have 4 months left. I'm not going back. Like, y'all can go to hell. You got an election coming up. Just deal with that. I'm not coming back. And typically, the vacation, the big recess takes place in August. So if any of these Republicans that have announced their retirements do decide that, maybe after the next break, I know they got a big one coming up for spring break soon, that, I just don't want to go back. The House of Representatives, the Republican majority, can only afford to lose, 2 or 3 votes on any given issue. So if you get 2 or 3 of these Republicans who've announced they're not seeking re-election, and again, we got 29 of them, so statistically, there's a good chance at least a couple of them are going to be like, you know what, I'm bowing out early. We could end up with a Democratic majority in the House before we even get to the midterms. Now, I got to tell you, I don't want people getting too optimistic. There's only like a 1% chance that could happen, and that's being a little generous. But it's not a 0% chance that it could happen. But these Republicans see the writing on the wall. And it's not just that, oh, we're going to lose this one election. It's bigger than that, right? You don't end decades-long careers because you're afraid that some of your coworkers are not going to win this one election cycle. It's a sea change. It's a shift. It's whatever you want to call it, but it is monumental and it's much bigger than just one election cycle. These are Republicans looking at their own party, looking at the hatred the public has for their own party, and realizing this isn't going to change after November. This isn't going to change after Trump leaves office. This is almost a permanent shift in the way the public views our very corrupt, corporate-friendly party that only caters to the top 1%. I'm screwed. I gotta go. That's what's happening with the Republican Party. So when you see stories like this, when you see these Republicans jumping ship, it's not just because this is going to be a bad cycle. It's because they realize their entire party is going down and they don't want to be a part of that. So that's what's actually happening with this. Skeets here says, have you seen the town halls? The narrative is not strong when you have lost your livelihood. Combine that with SS-style tactics, and they're going to be barbecued. I haven't seen footage from any town halls, but I imagine, probably not going well because, as I pointed out a week or so ago, you have Republicans that are defending Donald Trump's economic policies, everything that this guy has done, and the voters know it's not true. The voters know that Donald Trump is full of crap when he tells them prices have gone down when they have to buy things on an almost daily basis and they see the price have gone up. So it's a hard sell when you have to go and tell people to their faces that what they're experiencing is not real. It's a Democrat hoax, right? They don't buy it because they're living it and they know what's actually happening. So we will hopefully see more of these town halls. I would love to see, more clips of it. But as we get into the real campaign season, it's going to be brutal for these Republicans. They can either throw Trump under the bus and try to distance themselves or double down on his talking points and piss off all the voters. Two very not great options for them, but they're going to have to choose.
The game is changing, and the Get To It media is here to keep you grounded. Whether it's Trump celebrating his new alliance with Nicki or the GOP losing their 29th and 30th members, we're following the money and the moves. Hit those links in the description to see the full videos from Charles and Farron. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and above all, get to it. We out.